and so that you can start unlocking that ultimate up level right now. Okay, so let's look at the first one then, the quickest way to collapse timelines. And this is just my approach, of course, there might be others out there, for rapid and radical transformation in yourself, your relationships, and your business. And I had to laugh when Christy said what she did, because I have a similar formula. The key to more love, money, and success is 80% inner healing and 20% aligned action. So I believe that the true key to success is not in the external things. It really is, although those things are important, the biggest needle mover in your business and in your life is the inner healing. So what the problem is, we tend to look outside of ourselves for the answers. That's very normal, and I don't want anyone to feel bad about that. I made all of these mistakes myself. But we struggle to take action then on what we learn or what we've invested in if the inner shifts are not there. And without the action, there's no success, of course. And if and how we take action, so it's not just taking action, it's the energy behind that action that really affects how successful that action is. So if and how we take action is determined by our inner world. So our mind, our heart, our soul, our energy. And when we're out of alignment internally, we take action from that place of misalignment. We end up falling short of our potential, no matter how hard we try. So it's time to try something different. If this is resonating with you, it's time to try some radical inner healing. And by this, I don't mean mindset work. Mindset work is a part of the formula and it's important, but I'm talking deeply transformational work that makes you more magnetic to love, success, money, and abundance. Yeah, something I struggle with, getting there energetically at first. Yeah. So my route to collapsing timelines is through my process, which I call success imprinting. And this is the quickest way that I've found to collapse timelines for myself and my clients over and over again. And it is multi-level healing for multi-level results. And it's not a 5-step process. All of these different levels are worked on at the same time, okay? And I'm just going to talk you through it now. So mind healing, we talked about mindset, things like, affirmations, positive thinking, vision boards, they are a part of the process, but actually that's conscious mindset work. Subconscious mindset work is a lot more powerful. But when we tap into that, combined with the conscious work, that's where you start to see even bigger shifts. And it's really important to work with that subconscious level for deep and rapid transformation, to collapse timelines quicker, essentially. Then we've got heart healing. And this is probably the most transformational level that a lot of people don't ever really tend to work on. And this is releasing buried emotions and healing key life relationships that are blocking your growth. So what most methods tend to focus on is root cause experiences that are the reason why you're not moving forward, for example. But it's actually root cause relationships, the most powerful thing that you can ever work on, because who you are today is actually built up of the impact the key relationships in your life have had on your identity and who you are. So when the heart healing side is actually freeing you from the impact key wounding relationships have had on your life. And these are blocking your growth. This is probably the most transformational work you will ever do. And this is, I've got my own techniques around this, which is part of what I'm going to be taking you through in terms of the taster session later. Then we've got energy healing. So that's balancing and unblocking your energy so that you can show up in a more powerful and magnetic way as who you really are. Because the more we are our authentic selves, the more magnetic we become to everything. We've got soul healing. So this is integrating the missing parts of us that break off when we experience a wound or a trauma so that we can feel whole again. And finally, we have action healing, which is aligned action taking that brings your version of success into reality. So the key is to, like I say, working on all of these 5 areas consistently, not in a row, but not sort of a 5-step system, but actually all together. And what tends to happen in business especially is most people focus more on the external things. They maybe give 80% to the external things, might do a little bit of mindset work, but it doesn't really go deep enough to get this dramatic collapsing of timelines that can happen when you work on all 5 levels. So my clients, they'll often refer to the work that we do that follows this process as magic or wizardry. But I actually have a 15-year professional background in transformation, behavior change, and that's like 9 years of master's degree level qualifications as well. And trauma, working with healing trauma. So I combine my professional background and knowledge with my personal experiences of collapsing timelines and unlocking rapid success with spiritual techniques and spiritual intuitively guided techniques. So I like to describe it as modern day magic because it is a true mix of science and spiritual. So the real magic then happens when you combine these 5 levels of healing to address what I call the success saboteurs that are blocking your ultimate up level. So I'm going to take you through those 4 success saboteurs now, and I'm going to share with you particularly how they are blocking you from receiving. So through my work with thousands of women entrepreneurs who are at every level of success. So I've worked with women from startup to 7 figures and multi-7 figures. And through my own personal journey, I saw these 4 key issues. I used to call them blocks. I saw 4 key blocks that kept coming up time and time again. And then what I actually realized was they were not blocks, they were archetypes that every single entrepreneur that I've worked with has to varying degrees. So what happens in childhood, and some of you might not resonate with trauma, you don't have to have gone through trauma to have a wound. So just to clarify, a wound like a trauma imprint, the word trauma scares people sometimes, so I'd prefer to use wound. But we've all got wounds from our past, essentially. Because we're human, that we've all felt not good enough at some point. We've all felt not worthy, not loved, or helpless, or powerless. And it's the feeling of not feeling good enough, or worthy, or lovable that creates the wound imprint in our body, heart, mind, or soul. So we've all had that experience, whether we think we've been through trauma or not. So you might not resonate with the word trauma, but this stuff will still apply to you. Every single person has these 4 success saboteurs. One of them will be stronger. And also when different things are happening in your life, it activates a different one of these particular saboteurs that will come up stronger at that time. So in childhood, we have experiences that wound us, and in adulthood as well, when our needs haven't been met, and this leaves that trauma imprint or wound imprint, whatever you want to call it, in our mind, heart, and souls. And this activates what I call the success saboteur archetypes. And these are false masks that we wear to protect ourselves. It's a defense mechanism, a survival mechanism. And And we present these false masks to the outside world for approval or to stay safe. The problem is, what's developed as that protection or defense mechanism in childhood is actually what is stopping you, blocking you from the true levels of success and abundance that you are capable and worthy of receiving now. So what kept us safe in the past now keeps us small, because your mind doesn't realize that it doesn't need these things anymore. So it doesn't matter where you are on your business journey, whether you're earning 300 a month, 3,000 a month, or 30,000 a month, or 300,000 a month. Everyone at every level gets these false saboteurs impacting on them.